Most people enter a room scanning for approval, but the true master enters as the sun around which everything orbits. If you are tired of being ignored in social spaces, you must weaponize the shift from seeking validation to embodying absolute self-certainty. Today we dissect the internal mechanics of Escanor level presence. Most people walk into social situations asking invisible questions. If they are liked, if they are saying the right thing, if they sound intelligent, if they embrace themselves. Their attention is completely external. Psychologists call this external validation dependence, allowing your sense of value to fluctuate based on other people's reactions. The problem is simple. The more you need approval, the more your behavior becomes reactive. You laugh too hard, you over-explain, you apologize unnecessarily, you seek permission before speaking. Ironically, the harder you try to be accepted, the less powerful you appear. Escanor represents the opposite mindset. His value isn't negotiated with the people around him. It's predetermined. Whether people praise him or insult him changes absolutely nothing about how he sees himself. Obviously, this doesn't mean believing you are superior to everyone else. It means your self-respect isn't constantly being quoted on by strangers. Your confidence comes from internal standards, not external applause. That's the first lesson. Stop asking the room who you are. Decide first. The mind influences the body, but the body also influences the mind. Research on embodied condition suggests that posture and movement affect emotional states and confidence. Notice how anxious people behave. Constant shifting, looking around, touching their face, adjusting clothing, checking their phone. Every movement silently communicates uncertainty. Escanor is the opposite. He barely moves. Every action appears deliberate. Stillness creates gravity. People instinctively notice those who appear comfortable occupying space. You don't need exaggerated alpha body language. You don't need to puff out your chest and dominate conversations. Instead, stand upright, keep your movements slow, make eye contact without staring, stop filling every silence with unnecessary emotion. The less frantic your body becomes, the calmer your mind follows. Presence begins with psychology. Powerful people rarely rush. They don't rush their movements, they don't rush their decisions, and they certainly don't rush their words. Most conversations are driven by anxiety. People interrupt, talk over each other, explain too much, fill every silence because silence feels uncomfortable. But silence isn't weakness. Silence creates attention. Every pause increases anticipation. Every unnecessary sentence reduces impact. Escanor rarely wastes words because he doesn't need to prove himself. His certainty allows him to speak only when something needs to be said. You can apply the same principle. Pause before responding, speak slower than feels natural, finish statements instead of turning them into questions, remove unnecessary qualifiers like I guess, maybe, I'm not sure but, speak with clarity instead of seeking permission. Ironically, saying less often makes people listen more. Many people misunderstand confidence. They think dominance means intimidation, being louder, being harsher, putting others down. But insecurity often hides behind arrogance. People who constantly announce their greatness usually need other people to believe it first. Real confidence doesn't require comparison. It doesn't need an audience. It doesn't need validation. Escanor protects people. He stands firm under pressure. He doesn't shrink when challenged. His identity remains stable regardless of circumstances. That's a useful lesson. When criticized, don't instantly defend yourself. When insulted, don't react emotionally. When disagreed with, don't panic. Calmness under pressure communicates more confidence than aggression ever could. The strongest frame is often the quietest. Presence isn't something you switch on, it's something you become that requires repetition. Every day, remind yourself of evidence you've overcome challenges before. Give promises to yourself. Build competence. Train your body. Develop skills. Finish difficult tasks. Confidence grows from accumulated proof. At the same time, filter feedback intelligently. Listen to criticism that improves your actions. Ignore criticism that attacks your identity. Your mistakes deserve correction. Your existence does not require a justification. Eventually, self-respect stops feeling like an effort. It becomes your default setting. Just like the sun doesn't ask permission to shine, your confidence no longer depends on the weather around you. Escanor's true power was never his strength, it was his certainty. He walked through the world as though his value had already been decided, and because he believed it completely, everyone else felt it too. You don't need arrogance, you don't need dominance over others, you don't need to become louder, you simply need to stop outsourcing your self-worth. Because the moment your confidence stops depending on external approval, your presence changes. People notice. Rooms feel different, conversations feel different, and slowly, without forcing anything, respect begins to follow. Not because you demanded it, but because you stopped asking for permission to have it.